Hello and welcome to the Warp World Crowd Control panel.
Oh, we're starting off with the applause early. Wow.
That was easy.
You haven't even seen it yet, and you're already praising it. Well, that's, let's end on that note. That's a good note.
Yeah, all right. Wrap it up. Oh, wow. All right, so we'll go through introductions real quick if you don't know the squad here on the panel. So first off, we have Jakku.
Hello.
The CEO, president, leader of Warp World, and in general, fearsome hacker.
There you go.
Yeah.
That works.
Then we have me. I made the slideshow, so I get to be up here. And then we have Skybills, TwitchCon speedrun ambassador extraordinaire, all-around amazing person. You guys already know. And I guess Author Blues is here too.
I got lowercase a.
Yeah.
Lowercase a.
Per request. So we're going to start out today by explaining what exactly crowd control is. Does anybody here not know what crowd control is? All right, we got at least two of you.
We got our marketing person raising their hand.
She's fired, obviously.
Yeah.
All right, so crowd control is, in the essence of what it is a crowd control Twitch extension developed by Warp World. So using the crowd control Twitch extension in conjunction with the desktop application, you can let your audience on Twitch influence your game and sometimes other devices. Now, the best way to understand crowd control is to see it in action, so we have a quick little reel for you here. Oh, never mind.
That was
backwards.
Super quick.
I believe they call that a teaser.
We don't know how.
How do you? What is the escape button on a MacBook?
I mean, there we go.
Oh, nice. Okay. There we go.
Well, we did say he's a hacker.
So basically, the game is being influenced through bits.
This guy's
everything
a wolf.
that's happening, you can look right above me, and you'll see a. Oh god! Oh god! Oh god! Let me free. Yeah, just go for the regular kill then. You see how much time you have left? Oh wow! Someone was being what?
I love that one.
That's the weirdest way to hold the wand.
I don't think that's a wand, Jakku.
Ha 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 ha! What now, death spell? What now?
Who's this guy?
Moni, please.
All those were done by Moni.
Yeah, the majority of the effects were done by Moni, yeah.
We pay her in coins.
Sucker. So we're going to go in and talk a little bit about where crowd control came from and where Warp World came from. So, Jakku, I'll let you kind of take the lead here.
Yeah, Warp World started as a queuing system for Mario Maker on the Nintendo Wii U. And it was my first real introduction to streaming and using applications on Twitch. Users were trying to share levels to creators on Twitch, and it was like Google Docs, and it was terrible. People were submitting fake codes, invalid codes, just bad stuff in general. And so we made Warp World, or I made Warp World, to take that information from chat, verify that it's a real level, and then put it in a queue that that was easy to use. And it really took off in the Mario Maker community, and like all the streamers that use Mario Maker pretty much use it or at least know of it.
Yeah, still being used today in Mario Maker streams. The best part is that it adds it directly to your console through the bookmark website, so you don't even have to type in the codes.
Yeah.
And then from that, you had Mario Maker Mondays that came through.
Yeah, Mario Maker Mondays was a tournament to get for a competition at TwitchCon 2016 that we were part of. We helped build what was called Makers of Mario at the time, a better website for bookmarking and creating worlds, so you could add a bunch of levels and call it a world and link those to your Wii U as well. And we used that as a way to track races for the players.
And then following that, this is one of the most extraordinary stories ever, because Mega Man Maker is a project that came through in, what, 12 hours?
Yeah, Mega Man Maker's support for the queuing system was really kind of a last-minute thought, I guess. I knew the game was coming out, and I was on my way to Taiwan or Singapore or somewhere, I don't remember. I traveled to Asia a lot. And it was coming out on Friday, and I was on the plane Wednesday, and I'm on we're waiting to take off, and I'm like, oh wait, it's coming out Friday. I wonder if they have like APIs or anything. So on the plane, I got a hold of the Mega Man Maker community, got a hold of the devs, asked them for a few things like API access. They gave me what I needed, and on the plane from Chicago to Singapore, I was able to code support in the 12 hours. On this Surface, actually, which I forgot my charger on, but it was ready in time for the launch of the game. Wow. Yeah. All right.
The man who doesn't stop giving.
Yeah.
After that, we had OneUpCoin, which was a service I think most people in this room who stream are at least a little bit familiar with.
Yeah. If you're not, it's a cryptocurrency platform that allows viewers to donate cryptocurrencies to you. Back in 2017 and 2018, it was a little hot, like lots of money going around in that space. 2019 and the end of 2018, not so good. But, you know, it's cryptocurrency. You can accept it on your stream. And there was no platform that allows you to accept cryptocurrency and get alerts easily. And this was a very, very quick solution for that problem. And we helped we helped creators get over $300,000 in cryptocurrency. So not too bad. These are all free services, by the way.
Yeah. And then finally, we have Crowd Control, which is the current beauty child of Warp World.
Yeah, Crowd Control, we're getting to the origins a little bit of that, but we've been working on that for the last 6 months or so, you know, making it really accessible for anyone to use, and it's bringing a new level of interaction into Twitch.
Yeah. So we are going to talk a little bit about where exactly Crowd Control came from, because before Warp World, it was originally an event that was ran on speed gaming called Bit Races, mostly thrown together here by Feasel and Cat Devs Games. They're here in the audience. Round of applause for them, guys. So back when it was still Bit Races, you both have done events on speed gaming for Bit Races. Why don't you talk a little bit about those experiences and what it was like when it was brand new, you know?
So, I mean, it was a pretty innovative thing at the time. People really enjoyed being able to interact with the games, but I think my favorite experiences with them had a lot more to do with the times that I commentated races versus the times that I played in them. Because, you know, when you play in the races, you get a certain level of fun mixed with frustration, but it's all fun when you're commentating the races, because it's really interesting to see the way that the crowd wants to jump in and either, you know, help their favorite streamer or help the person who's behind to catch up, or, you know, hurt the person who's ahead. And it usually produces a lot of fun things to watch. So, you know, my specialty is not A Link to the Past. That one's definitely been handled by people who are much smarter and much more talented than I am. But I've been involved with some of the SMB3 stuff and some of the Super Mario World stuff. And it's really fun with those races, especially back in the day of Bit Races when it was brand new, it was hot. You know, people hadn't seen anything like this before. But, you know, watching the ways that people found fun, creative ways to, you know, create brand new content that you've never seen before. Yeah. While the randomizers have always permitted things like adding in new enemies and changing the gameplay itself, watching the stream itself say, okay, well, you just beat this level, let me add in a boss bass so you die after you're already done, was kind of a brand new experience no one had seen before, and it really changed the way people were playing the game at the time.
Well, you covered the vast majority of what I wanted to cover, but I had played Randomizer as well for Super Mario Bros. 3, and I'll tell you something, I've never been more afraid of that game since maybe I was like 4 years old playing that than when I was playing, because randomizers were okay, but I felt like I had control over that. With crowd control, they could kill you at any point. The timer could go out. They could despawn platforms, making the stages impossible to continue. I even had the last time I played, a Hammer Brother got taken out at the wrong time, and I'm just sitting there waiting on a timer. Well, they added to that timer while I was waiting. So, yeah. But it's very new, it's very innovative, and I can't think of any other way to play Mario 3 nowadays. Very enjoyable.
Yeah. I mean, other than speedrunning it, of course.
Of course.
So yeah, us at Warp World, we saw how much everybody absolutely loved this project, especially you, Jaku, right? And so we were thinking how cool it would be if anyone could run these events anytime they want on their own channel, any Twitch partner, any affiliate for free, and have full control over how that event runs, be able to do these events, but in a more personal way. And so that's when we reached out to Kat and we formed Crowd Control. He joined the team with Warp World, and since we've had massive success bringing the experience to broadcasters, big, small, medium, extra big, all kinds. So we wanted to talk a little bit about how Crowd Control exactly fits into speedrunning as well, being at, GDQ.
Is that where we're at?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So the speedrunning and the crowd control, speedrunning complements crowd control really well because there's nothing better than having a player who is the dominator of a game get destroyed because some dude in chat wanted to, Where, like we're saying, Skybills is in the middle of the Hammer Brothers fight, and you've played what, Super Mario Bros. 3 at least like 4 or 5 times?
Oh, I've played a couple times.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have a resident expert, and then all of a sudden, no idea what's going to happen next. Like she's saying, it's the scariest thing she's ever done, and that's fun to watch. The whole reason people watch Saw is because the people in that movie are afraid.
That's a hell of an analogy.
He didn't have that in rehearsal.
No, that was fresh. But so speedrunners are really perfect for crowd control because it's really the best contest of who can do better. Can the audience help/hinder the runner, or will the runner be able to get through like reversed controls with a boss bass and an angry sun flying at them? Meanwhile, the timer's ticking down at 3 times the regular pace. Things like that, adding more and more challenges into these runs that they were once the master of. Now they're the subject of the will of the audience. It really amplifies the experience. You guys, you're all. Sky, do you have any world records? You've had a world record.
I have some world records with Author Blues here, actually.
I'm the only no world record holder at this table, unfortunately. But as world's record holders,
that's why you're running the.
I made the slideshow. I earned my spot. But as world record holding speedrunners, you guys have all done crowd control sessions. Like, how does it feel compared to doing your regular speedruns?
I mean, the thing about speedrunning is that, and especially when it comes to randomizer, you're already adding an extra layer on top of it. I mean, speedrunner is itself a lot of memorization, a lot of understanding your game, and randomizer, which is typically where bit races / crowd control was applied, that sort of already added a layer of, okay, well, this is a little bit unfamiliar to me, so now I have to add that extra layer. And I think crowd control, what made it so fun ultimately was the fact that you took that lack of familiarity, and now a actual adversarial entity watching you play can figure out a way to make it even worse for you. If you're struggling, sometimes the greatest satisfaction your chat can have is to add to the suffering. So, I mean...
Yeah, I think there's like a 90 to 10 hurt to help ratio that usually goes on during these events.
I would want to add that you learn to not take muscle memory for granted. Those of us who've done reps, thousands, and tens of thousands of even runs, you learn that maybe you don't know everything about the game. You don't know about every hitbox, hurtbox, and that actually helps out with practice when you actually go back to the regular game. Crowd control is really good for reinforcing some speedrunning things.
Yeah. So we're going to dive a little bit into how it works. I'll let Jakku take the lead here because, I mean, who better, right?
Carcat.
Yeah.
So it's really easy. You can start at crowdcontrol.live. We have guides on the website that tell you how to download the desktop application that you need and the Twitch extension. On your dashboard on Twitch, you're able to enable it. But once you have your application installed and your game set up either through SD to SNES or an emulator, it's as easy as clicking start.
Yeah.
It's remarkably reliable, too. I mean, it's come such a long way, and now it's at the point, even with how temperamental the hardware can be occasionally, we used to have problems with, plugging a cable into the SD to SNES if you want to play on console, which is, I think, one of the marvels of this project, is that you can actually do this on console if you have a flash card that has a USB port on it, which the SD to SNES does. And even with how temperamental that hardware can be, which is completely outside, any of this team, that's not their responsibility to get it working. But now it's so reliable that even when the hardware starts to fail, the software kind of, smooths it over and makes it work a lot better. So it's amazing how far this project has come.
Yeah, we're simplifying the process even more. There's going to be a few updates soon that are going to make it even easier, if you can believe it.
I mean, at this point, it's as simple as plug the cable in and turn on the program, and you're pretty much there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the first time I set it up, I was actually confused at how easy it was.
It seems like you're skipping steps.
Right.
That it turns out that the steps are like 3 steps long. Yeah.
Exactly. So right now, Crowd Control supports a number of different games and platforms. Right here, you can see we support Super Mario World and the Super Mario World Randomizer, Super Mario Bros. 3, and the Super Mario Bros. 3 Randomizer, and then, of course, everybody's favorite, Link to the Past Randomizer. And like Author Blues was just saying, through the Super Nintendo games supported, you can play those directly on the actual hardware, on the Super Nintendo, via plugging a USB cord into the SD to SNES and connecting that to your computer and just ensuring you have the correct firmware on your SD to SNES. It's an easy process, and it's the best way for people who love to not have delay play their randomizers with Crowd Control.
Yeah.
And so for people who don't have the hardware, there's also the available connections through S9X or BizHawk. And we have the Lua connectors that work with either of those emulators. So if you don't want to invest in a flash card, if you don't have one, if you just want to try it out, pick it up, you can play Crowd Control sessions directly through an emulator. And these are all the connections and everything is packaged with the install when you originally do set up the software.
Yep. And then we are working on adding more devices, and not just limited to games, though. So we have NES flash card and N64 flash card coming down the pipeline. We also have support for Tesla vehicles. Yeah, there was a demo beta of that on the way to SGDQ last year. Cliffy up there, he enjoyed it a lot. Would you say 113%?
An enthusiastic nodding his head, yes, I can see from over here.
That was actually a request at TwitchCon by like more than 3 people. They're like, could I hook this up to a Tesla? And
Were they like all Elon Musk in different costumes?
They were. Oh my, that was it.
That was the guy who showed up with the Anime Girl t-shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and the pillow. That explains a lot. But we're not just limited to games. We're looking to expand to more devices like Internet of Things in general.
Yeah. And as well, the obvious option, PC games soon enough will be supported as well. And we have a couple of things to announce near the end of this presentation that are already like kind of in the pipeline and close to being out. So look forward to that.
Or don't.
Or don't.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell you what to do.
So another cool thing we can talk about a little bit right now is the Crowd Control SDK, which has been out for what, like a month-ish now?
Yeah, a little over a month.
So why don't you tell everybody a little bit about that, how it works, what you can do with it?
Yeah, so an SDK is a software development kit. It allows other people to kind of create effect packs for games on Crowd Control. Carcat's been working a lot on that because that's a big driving force. We want to add more games, and we're not experts in all these games and memories like Carcat is in Legend of Zelda. And so we need support and we need help from others. So providing these tools is going to be the best way to get more games supported.
Yeah. And the SDK is included as well when you install the software. Yeah. So you've seen a lot of this in action as well. There's currently in process a script generator tool coming.
Yeah, while the SDK is more geared towards a programmer by trade, the script generator, almost anyone could probably use it. And that's actually being developed by someone outside of Warp World right now as a passion project, Video Game Roulette.
Yeah.
I think we have a screenshot.
Yeah, right here.
I don't know how well it works, but it's really easy. You're able to kind of like add effects on the left side, and it just adds the code to the right. So it's basically point and click.
Yeah.
Which should make it really easy. If you can find a memory map for a game online, you could go in and find what memory needs to be modified and just type it in here and add it, and now you have some working code. So that should help support a lot of games.
Yeah. So now we go into the nitty-gritty of how crowd control works in terms of the currency, because that's where everything kind of goes in an underlying force right there. The crowd control currency we use is... There we go, called coins.
Really easy to remember.
Yeah. Now, every effect that a viewer sends to a streamer is going to cost coins, and coins are purchased in the extension through the use of bits. The cost of each effect within the actual crowd control session is set completely by the broadcaster. There's a set of defaults that will be there, but everything is completely customizable. So you have you log in, you go into the extension, you can claim 50 free coins every session. So if Author Blues were to do Super Mario Bros. 3 followed by Super Mario World, you'd be able to get a total of 100 coins because that's 2 separate sessions.
Right.
Yeah. And essentially, we have a lot of reasoning for why we've used this coins currency instead of directly working with Twitch bits in the extension. So I'll let you go ahead and take the lead on this one, yeah.
When Twitch launched bit support for extensions, it was really clear like crowd control was going to be a really good idea because one of the downsides of bit races was it was all chat based. So it would flood your chat with messages, so no one could read their chat if it was available to you as a single broadcaster. So as soon as they said that we could start using bits and extensions, that's when we really had these ideas. Bits are useful for a lot of reasons. Obviously, no chargebacks for the streamers, and it's just easy to use. You don't have to go off-site to get anything. But one of the drawbacks is that when you use bits on an extension, you have to purchase something, and it has to just go into that pool. It has to just be done. With effects on crowd control, sometimes you might send something, and it might not be available at that time for the player. So we wouldn't be able to refund your bits. But if we convert your bits to coins, and then you send an effect, we're able to send you coins back if it didn't work. And right here, bits can't be refunded, but coins can.
Yeah.
We can't give you free bits either, but we can give you free coins. And then with our own currency, we can offer promotions. Basically, we allow the streamer to set up promotions and things as well. They could have sales on their effects halfway through the game if they wanted.
Yeah.
And with bits, the APIs and just the access that Twitch gives, we wouldn't be able to have that much control. So this gives the streamers and the viewers a lot more than what Twitch would have offered.
Yeah. By using coins, it gives a lot more control to both parties on how exactly it works and being able to do more cool things to make the software even better. So we talked a little bit about how you get 50 free coins per session. One thing that's important to talk about is how the coins that you purchase in a stream are locked to that streamer. So we were talking a little bit about this too. Essentially, how it works is if, for example, Jakku wanted to send an effect to Skybills, if he were able to purchase coins in Author Blues channel and use those coins in Skybills' channel, Skybills would get killed in the Ganon fight and Author Blues would be up $5. And that's not fair.
Sounds okay to me.
So that's kind of the logic behind the coins being locked on a per channel basis. But one thing that is really good is the coins do persist beyond separate sessions. So if you were to buy $10, $50, whatever worth of coins, you would be able to spend however many of those coins you like, and the next time that broadcaster does a crowd control session, you still have whatever remaining coins you have left over, plus an additional 50 bonus coins that you get for that new session. So that all works out in a really nice way where you can purchase you can get a bonus-like amount of coins by purchasing a higher number of them and then hold on to those if you know that streamer is planning multiple crowd control events or if you're excited to see them use new crowd control software, all that good stuff. Now, the worst part of the conversation, money, or best depending on who you are. So the revenue share for Twitch bit extensions is a standard throughout all extensions, and that is 80% for the broadcaster and 20% for the developer. So through all of the crowd control sessions that anyone does, they're going to get 80% of the revenue that those bits would bring in, and Warp World will get the other 20%. There was a super cool promotion being offered throughout the end of last year where Twitch was eating up an extra 20% and giving broadcasters 100, and that was a good time to do crowd control.
Yeah. We hope they bring that back.
Yeah. So we did want to take a second, though, to explain exactly where the 20% revenue that Warp World gets goes into, because it is being used for a lot of good purposes.
Yeah. Obviously, all the tools that we've done before have been free and helpful for the community. But this sort of tool has been a lot of work by a lot of people, and it requires a lot of servers and maintenance and things go into that. So every time an effect is sent, it has to be sent through us and processed and things, and we have to make sure it works. So that alone eats up some cost. We have to pay some of the developers and the people that build out tools for us at this point because we're getting a little big for that. And volunteering just doesn't work anymore. And then, you know, we're expanding our services. We want to add more to the Warp World brand and just become much more useful on Twitch and streamers and speedrunners. And then we all have, you know, our hobbies. Escape rooms, they are really expensive.
Yeah, it's at the bottom, but it's our top priority.
Now, the question, though, is that for going to escape rooms, or is that for building our own crowd control escape room?
That is the question.
I'll leave that to you guys to think about.
All right, so we'll talk a little bit about why crowd control is beneficial for viewer engagement. So as a streamer, we're basically saying you should use crowd control, and not just as people who are in the company that, you know, make it, but as lovely users of crowd control as well.
Don't throw me under this.
So broadcasters who've used crowd control are basically the way we look at it is you're creating a way for your community to support you, but to also get so much back in return at the same time. The way I look at it is, let's imagine in a stream I was going to receive $50 worth of bits during a 12-hour stream or whatever I was doing, right? Now imagine if I was doing an event and I got that same amount of bits from those same people, but those people who put those bits in, instead of getting a little dancing dog on the screen saying, thanks for the money, buddy. Imagine you get to kill me in Zelda, or give me the bug net, or fill my bottles with bees, whatever your fetish is. That's a worthwhile experience for overall what was the money that those viewers wanted to contribute to your broadcast either way.
It also reveals the true feelings your viewers have for you as well.
It is really nice, though, to feel like your viewers are engaged with it beyond just the natural altruism to want to support you and help you, but also to feel like I don't have to say thank you so much, thank you for all your support. It's you got what you paid for.
Yeah.
And
I'm not saying thank you because you killed me.
Well, I was going to say, if he doesn't thank you, you know what to do then, at least.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, so we've all done a lot of crowd control sessions. We've seen, I mean, I've seen it. You guys have all seen it. It's been really good for viewer engagement. People have a lot of fun during these events. I know a lot of people in the audience have been good, proficient users of crowd control as well. And there's a lot of tips that we have for making your crowd control sessions super fun in addition to all of this. So Skybells was mentioning earlier good commentary and how that can affect your session. So why don't you talk a little bit more about that?
All right, so commentary, what I tend to do when I play is I'm not very nice to the people who are racing, and I'll be like, now might be a good time for a boss pass. You know, if you spawn 3 right here, they will not be able to finish this level because there's too many sprite slots that are taken up. So
yeah, especially when there's a race going on, it's easy to point people in the right direction, especially if you know what's going on. I mean, you know, you see someone going into the Koopa Kid fight and you say, well, you know, just so you know, Boss Bass can eat you even after you've caught the wand. So, I mean, I'm not saying what you should do, but I am saying what you should do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then another really, so we talked about setting your own prices on the effects earlier, and we've had a lot of analysis that we've put into this, and by that I mean we just watch all the streams. But the best way to give your community like a really good, interactive, fun experience is to find the perfect balance of how low to set your prices. Essentially, the lower you set your prices, the more accessible your effects are. But if you have an audience of 1,000 people, you are not going to make any progress in that game. It is going to be a standstill because people, they're as evil as you think they are.
Especially considering a lot of these effects, just typically across the board, they last about a minute. So I feel like part of that fine-tuning is figuring out if you expect it to happen once per minute, then how many bits do you think, or how many coins do you think you'll bring in from minute to minute?
Exactly.
You know, sort of pacing it out based on the size of your channel and size of your chat and how much they like you.
Exactly, yeah. So it's important to find that balance. I personally, when I do sessions, love to set my prices as low as possible. I don't care if it takes me 7 hours to beat Zelda, as long as we're having fun and as long as I'm getting a lot of fairies. That's what really matters. Yeah, so You set the good things cheap. Hopefully people are nice to you. You set the bad things a little less cheap, but let them have fun as well. And it ends up being like a really good experience where you have like one side of your audience who's like, let's get them past the first boss, please. And the other half who's like, no, absolutely not. But no, we've seen with the right pricing, streamers pull in like extraordinary amounts of revenue compared to their regular sessions. I myself have seen 10 to 20 times in an average session before.
Yeah.
It's been crazy.
I personally have seen 6 times increase.
Yeah.
It all depends on your community. But
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing the difference it can make, especially when your viewers are engaged and you're having fun with it. I think a lot of it is you're having fun with it as well.
Yeah.
Like even when you're getting killed over and over by your viewers, if you're having a good time, the stream will really get into it.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I wanted to add really quickly, too, if you're like, I don't want to be mean to this person, yeah, but when I see Boss Bass Wing, I don't see Boss Bass. I see $10, and I'm pretty happy even if I get eaten by that $10. So.
Right. And that's another reason why like Twitch bits really makes sense. If this was to use like an in-chat currency where everyone's currency is inflated and doesn't really make any sense, the streamer's not getting anything really out of that. And so being killed 100 times by Boss Bass won't be so much fun anymore. But if each time they get $5, they're gonna be like, okay, I can still live with that.
Yeah. Yeah. And another important thing to do while you're doing your crowd control sessions as well is, you're going to have people coming in and out of your stream during that session. So reminding newcomers that those 50 free coins are available. Having one fun effect that's not like the most impactful, but something that shows off the software well enough at 50. Like I like for Mario Bros. 3 setting the frog suit right at 50 because that's perfect. Everybody loves the frog suit, gives you a chance to see it, and people are like, wow, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have had crowd control out for since the stats were pulled, a little over 3 months.
Yeah.
And since then, we have over 52,000 effects sent to all the streamers who have used it, over 1,782 sessions, with 998 streamers signed up, 275 of those streamers having it done at least one session by now. And that is all within the span of 99 days. Which is pretty wild.
Yeah.
For sure.
And so upcoming soon, we have a lot of support for a lot of awesome stuff, including Dark Souls on the PC, Pokemon Red and Pokemon Blue Game Boy support, Mega Man 2 on the NES, and something a lot of people have been asking about, Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time Randomizer. Yeah. So all of this is somewhat in the pipeline. Some's going to be coming sooner other than compared to others, but there is a lot more than just what you're seeing here that's in that pipeline as well. Jakku could probably give a couple more.
Was it important to not mention Moonmaster?
Well, yeah, Moonmaster is, you know what, it's supported now. No, Moonmaster maybe. But no, we have, everyone's favorite run and gun, Contra, for the NES, and Ninja Gaiden. And this one's going to throw you guys through, but Friday the 13th for NES, because, like, why not? But there's a lot more coming. We have a lot of software changes coming. I mentioned that earlier, making the setup easier. And with these games, we're probably going to be having that software come out. So as soon as you see a new version of that software, these games will probably be dropping really soon.
Yeah.
With that, though, we also are working on a website redesign. This is one of the mock-ups that is currently being worked on. A lot easier setup, a lot easier to kind of see things, but we just wanted to sneak peek that.
Yeah.
Oh, and something like SNES Classic support, maybe. So we actually have a demo for that, if we can switch over.
Yeah.
This was kind of thought of on Sunday.
Been in the works for a full almost week.
Yeah, and I think we're pretty far along. There's some bugs, and we're going to try to do a live demo. We only got a few effects working right now, but we'll see if it works. We don't know. If it doesn't, oh well. Because why not?
There we go.
Cool. All right, so there's Oth playing some Zeldas. So I don't know what, I think he's got 4 bombs right now. I'm going to try to take all of his bombs.
And they're gone.
There's his bombs.
Where am I going?
Let's give them back, I guess. I don't know. There's 10 bombs.
Thanks.
Dude, you're good at this game.
Well, I do have all the world records.
Let's see. I'm gonna take some of your rupees away.
Please
not
leave
allowed.
my rupees.
You know what? All right.
Oh, you already got 10.
I had bombs.
Well, you don't need them now. And then we'll do arrows, because why not? But yeah, basically, these are just kind of the things that I got set up in the demo right now. But all effects that are currently on crowd control should work for this once it's released. What you guys don't really see is a lot of stuff in the background. This SNES Classic actually has internet, which is actually really easy to set up. And we will be able to do that once you install it. And it would require no PC. So the software on your desktop for crowd control is normally required, but this will not require that. And so it'll be almost a true plug-and-play solution. You could take it anywhere and have crowd control. And Auth is actually going to show you how you launch crowd control on here, even though it's already running. But can you do the RL?
Yeah. What now?
Let go.
Yep.
Hold them for a few seconds and then let go. There we go. Start crowd control.
Wow.
All right, done.
Look at that.
Press B and then exit.
Nobody tell Nintendo.
Yeah, please don't tell Nintendo. But no, that's
Please clap.
please clap. But yeah, that's something we've been working on, I guess, 5 days?
Yeah.
5 nights. We'll say 5 nights because I slept for the days. And then I think that opens it up to Q&A.
Yeah.
Oh boy, we got a mic up front. First come, first serve. We expect no less than 35 questions.
I've got 20 right here,
fewer.
so you're good.
All right.
All right. So first of all, I want to say thank you to all of you and to everyone who's worked on crowd control. As a viewer and as someone that's gotten a chance to watch a lot of people use it, it's been extremely fun to both watch and kind of watch people interact with it for the first time. So thank you so much for all of that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The question I have is, I really would like for you to talk a little bit about sort of the cognitive dissonance that is taking place between Twitch really promoting you guys, like giving you featured space on the extensions page, and Nintendo's extraordinarily liberal approach to intellectual property law. How do you see because it's interesting to me that Twitch is putting a lot of support behind this when, at least as of right now, a lot of the ways it's being used, a lot of people think Nintendo is not necessarily going to be happy about that. It's not so much how do you see crowd control fighting Nintendo in the future, but how do you see Twitch, kind of stepping up and promoting you guys almost in the face of what Nintendo's trying to do with its IP?
That's a pretty good question. So Twitch has been really supportive. I think for 3 years I've been trying to get Twitch's attention to just give me 20 minutes of their time. And it wasn't until crowd control and us showing them some of the first demos that they finally oh, these guys know what they're doing. And so they're definitely showcasing us a lot and putting us front and center on some of the extension pages. I think we've had the discussion with not with Nintendo. We've had the discussion with Twitch about Nintendo, and it really comes down to a case that happened in the 80s or early 90s with Nintendo and Galoob and the game Genie, and judges finding that that's okay because all crowd control really is at the basic level is a game Genie with a modem.
There we go. Okay, yeah.
Perfect.
How is that not the slogan for crowd control?
You should see the commercial I want to build.
Oh.
Right, so I was going to ask about the potential process for adding new games, and then you answered that with the SDK. I can't wait to take a look at that. Assuming if we were to take a look at that and get new games working with crowd control, in my case, I developed the Super Mario RPG randomizer. So I would really, really like to get crowd control working with that. So if we were able to get that working, do you have any idea about the process to get that integrated into officially into the crowd control desktop application?
Yeah, we're currently working with the developer on Dark Souls, the stuff on with Dark Souls. We're actually working with him, and that's going to be our first project outside of our own where we're integrating that. So it's very loose right now, but we have a Discord. If you go to discord.warp.world, it will direct you to our Warp World Discord, and you can ping me or Carcat or Xwater or whoever that has the staff or helper, and we can get you added to the SDK channel, and we can kind of, as you build effects, we'll be in contact, and once you feel like it's ready, we do testing or do Q&A, and hopefully you know a few people that can do Q&A as well, and we're getting integrated, so it's just boom on there and supported.
Awesome. That sounds fantastic. I'll be in there.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you for the question.
Testing, testing, there we go. First of all, to Sky, I hope you were fine that I timed you out on the tower stage.
Now I know.
And more to the developers. I appreciate that crowd control is helpful to the individual restreamer, but how does it work for organizations such as Speed Gaming or Randomania that deal with races more than the individual? Are there any plans for that?
Yeah, we already have support for speed gaming, and well, any channel that really has multi-channels or multi-streams. If you go to speed gaming, when they did some of the Zelda races with crowd control, the extension actually adds users to the top, and so it's the same exact process. You just one extra click of clicking on the user you want to affect first, and it's really easy for them to set up. Right now, there's not an interface for them or anyone. We do it manually, but we are working on adding that to the new site design and to the application to make it really easy for speed gaming. Or if you and your friend want to do a race against each other, same process. Just be able to set up yourselves, and now there's two streamers doing the same things, and we're trying to definitely make multi-streams a thing. And we plan to support the Twitch squad streams as soon as they give us more information, because that's still very much in the works.
Thank you.
Yep.
Hi, I'm John Carls.
Oh.
Hi, John Carls.
I have a question about OneUpCoin, actually.
Oh, yeah, sure.
What is the blockchain?
Oh, man.
That's my question. That was it.
How much time you got?
Next question.
Thank you.
So you use bits to buy the coins, but does that affect the bit badges at all?
It does. And we plan to support the ability to link your stream elements or Muxy, well, not Muxy, because actually they don't offer that support, but your stream elements and your and your Streamlabs account, so that when people do buy coins, they can have a notification like they would have donated and potentially send a message at the same time. And that way, like, you can leave that extension kind of on, so if you're like, hey, I'm going to be doing crowd control in a day, and people want to cheer, they can get coins at the same time and still get those effects that they're used to.
But yeah, it does affect badges, top weekly cheers, all that stuff. Currently, yeah, natively it all affects the bit totals per user in the channels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, looks like we got some more. Yeah.
That's why you got to do more crowd control runs then.
Hi.
Hi.
Are there any games that you are personally looking forward to possibly having crowd control support?
I think everyone can answer this question. I personally want Yo Noid.
I'm excited for. I don't know if I can talk about what I'm excited for, but it's cool. But Dark Souls on the PC, I'm going to use as my cop-out answer because I'm excited to see the first. We actually, a while back, Jakku, myself, Foxen, and Valhart in the crowd over there.
That's right.
We did a Borderlands and Borderlands 2 crowd control, which was like more of a beta test kind of crowd control, but it was really cool. You were able to like make the players huge or tiny, immediately kill them, change your speed to 0, so you had to jump to move. It was a lot of fun.
It was horrible.
It was also horrible, yeah. But it was cool because it was a 4-player co-op experience and people could specifically target one person. So I could sit there all day saying to my chat, please kill Jakku, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess that touches on before they answer, there is kind of a plan to support games with server support, like say like Rust or Counter-Strike, a crowd control server where streamers can all join that server, and now everyone that's on that server can be affected by crowd control in some way.
Thanks.
You got a game you're excited that you would like to see?
Well, everyone else wants to say Ocarina of Time, but I want to see Super Mario 64. The chaos
That's
mode.
a good one.
The chaos mode. The chaos mode for Super Mario 64 provides inspiration.
I was talking to Jacko before too. I'd like to see Super Castlevania 4 is one because the randomizer's been awesome, and one of the biggest headaches of being a Castlevania speedrunner is when the sub-weapon changes. And if I'm about to go fight something that where I need triple crosses for, and then I get a dagger, it's like, no. So that's my wish list.
I wanted to gauge how serious you were about the IoT integration, and then if there are any details you could divulge on it.
We're pretty serious about it. I come from a security background, computer security, information security. I've been, technically that's just a PC term of hacker. I've done like IoT development and hacking for like the last 15 years or so. And so like I'm definitely invested in that sort of thing. We have some rough beta working now. We plan to kind of get some stuff out there probably in the next 2 months or so. And what we really want to do is link up just IoT things to crowd control in the same effect. Like if you die in Zelda and you have some sort of IoT lights, flash those red at the same time for an extra effect. Oh man, I mean, it's the reason I have a job.
Here's a question I just thought of. With Twitch having things like sub-gifting and stuff like that, have you considered, or would it be possible to implement things like coin gifting where someone could donate their coins to another user so they could use it if they can't get coins themselves or whatever have you?
Technically, we have support for that, just not to integrate it into the UI, because that was part of BitRaises originally, giving coins to other users. We want, right now, extensions don't have support for reading your sub level and things like that, but other things coming down the line, Twitch is working to develop those, but things we want to do is, if you have a tier 2 or tier 3 sub, maybe they get an extra bonus on the coins that they receive from bits and things like that as well. We really want to use a lot of the Twitch features, but a lot of things just aren't there yet, and we're actively telling Twitch, hey, we need this, and they're like, okay, give us a little bit of time, and Twitch time is kind of slow.
Thank you.
Sorry, Twitch.
Yeah, I guess if there's no other questions, that pretty much concludes everything we had to say about the... Oh, we got one more.
We got one.
All right.
Oh, I got one.
I got one.
The best Warp World podcast, I got one.
Arguable.
Arguably. I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place right now.
I have a decently important question. Arthur's been standing at the entrance to that dungeon for 15, 20 minutes. Why haven't you killed him yet, Jaku?
I didn't implement kill in this one because I wanted to be nice.
Wow. It's like
Shame
you weren't
on
even
you.
trying to demo this.
Oh,
I thought about it.
Don't worry, I can kill myself.
Yeah, he can kill himself. Just like old times.
That's against Twitch toss.
You can't fire me, I quit.
But yeah, if you need to find us, like I said, I mentioned the Discord, discord.warp.world will get you the link. We also have Twitter, which is, I don't know, what is it? Team Warp World and WW Crowd Control. Yeah.
You're making Moni angry right now.
I know.
You don't know the Twitter name. You guys good for one more question?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, I should thank him for letting me borrow his SNES Classic, because I didn't bring one. And we wouldn't have that if he didn't bring his.
You guys ever think about working with game developers to make something like Choice Chamber, like your own crowd control game where it's your own IP that's integrated with Twitch?
Yes, we have talked about this before. We've reached out to some indie devs because we feel like that's the only way we can really get started. We would love to be able to work with them to add crowd control to their games. They can focus on their games, and we can focus on the interactivity part. And we think like a huge selling point for games like that would have like a powered by, or not powered by, but like supports crowd control. We think that'd be beneficial for both sides because we'd add their game, and with that our user base and their users would find our stuff as well.
All right.
Yeah.
So yes.
Yeah, we've seen like games like that, Choice Chamber, Dead Cells, all those Dominaria.
There's a lot of possibilities
Spartan
there
fighting game.
that
Yeah.
are really exciting.
Anytime one of those games comes out, it's always big on Twitch for a week, and we'd love to work with developers to essentially take that part out of their hands and say, hey, we have a huge audience of people who already love to do this kind of thing, who like to interact with streams. So by including crowd control with your game, that's going to be hugely beneficial to the developer because it opens their game up to a market of people who like messing with people's games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. And yeah, if anybody else has another question, feel free. But I think we're about wrapping up here.
Yeah.
Thanks so much to everybody who came out for the panel. We really appreciate it. Yeah. This is Crowd Control.